Hello everybody, Turner from Mountain Made Fitness Collective. Yesterday's video took you up to the point of wall walks and shoulder taps against the wall. Today we're going to go through the progressions with static handstand holds and handstand walking. Now, personally, I learned to walk handstand walking before I learned to do statics because I went on the CrossFit route and it was all about walking in the workout, so I totally missed a step. So my statics are not the best, but I'm going to take you through them and just bear that in mind. It's do as I say, not do as I do sort of moment. So if you're trying to get your statics, you're going to kick up to a wall because it gives you a bit of a safety blanket, but we're just going to go a bit further away from the wall than usual. So usually I go quite close. This time I'm going to go a bit further away so I can try and get one foot to the wall and then bring it back. And if I over rotate, it's not a big problem. You could also do this with someone spotting you. So see how far away. Usually my hands would be here, but they're going this far away, about 1.5 to 2 foot away from the wall. And so from this position, hands beneath my shoulders, nice wide fingers, and then kicking up, and then 1 foot, and I'm going to try and bring the other foot to that, and then thinking about pointing the toes and holding through. Now, as you can see, I'm really engaging with my lats and I've bent my arms. Not the best technique. It's a bit like me standing like this to make sure I can stand. I want to be locked out. Now, I'm going to take it away from the wall this time, and I'm going to try and do that same thing. Really think about active hands, pushing and pulling with the fingers. They're like, think about a pianist. You know, you're pushing down. Okay, you're not just like holding them there. They are controlling you standing. Okay, so from this position, thinking about hands beneath my shoulders or just outside, nice wide fingers, and then a little kick with the foot and trying to bring the feet together. So, and he's walking. So trying to keep those feet together and walking away. So we'll go one more time, see if I can do it. Thinking, often it really helps to either video or to get someone to tell you, are your feet together? Because you might think they are, but they're probably not. So unless you can feel it, or someone has told you, or you can see it, there's a likelihood that they're a bit wider than you imagine. So feet, hands shoulder width, and then kicking up. One more time, let's see. Through into this position, and then I'm going to over rotate and go through. So, not going for me today, but we're going to go into handstand walking. So, head rush. So handstand walking, same things apply. I want you to think about wide fingers, so you're nice and active through the hands. Shoulder width with the hands, just maybe a tiny bit wider, but you're not going crazy wide. And then feet together. Okay, so at the beginning you want to go feet together. Now, as I mentioned before, I learned on concrete, so I do not kick in like this because I didn't want to over rotate. I find putting my hands down and then kicking up with my legs is much more comfortable for me. And now it's just how I do it. So I'm going to try and think about keeping my feet close together and touching the toes together to really make sure that I am. So often you'll think you are there if you're not touching. So I'm thinking I am there, hopefully I am. I'm trying to squeeze those heels, squeeze those glutes. Now, the next piece is I want you to think about breathing. So counting really helps. So sometimes people are like, oh, I can't do it, because they're under so much strain, but they're not breathing. And it really helps to think about your breath. So what I like to do is count. So again, kicking up, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so you could also try singing. Some people sing, might irritate some people. But counting is really, really good. Now, one thing to think about is small steps with the hands. So I don't want to go really big with the hands, because if I go really big with a step, Like, if my body is out of angle, I'm not going to make that step. And it's the same if you look with me taking a really big step with my hands. So kick up, and then out here, it's really difficult for me to get that position. So I'm leaving the body behind a bit more. I want to take little steps, and then from here, trying to keep yourself stacked beneath. So through, little steps. As your speed increases, you can take bigger steps, but when you're getting used to it, little steps really helps. Keep yourself stacked. So then, what I want us to think about is how hard you are on your hands. When I first learned to do it, I was doing a CrossFit endurance course, so that was when they ran those back in the day, and I was practicing, and someone said to me, whoa, you're really loud on your hands, like, you've got to go light. So I was like, oh, okay. And it makes sense. If I walk down the road like this, I'm going to hurt my knees, I'm going to hurt my hips. It's the same with on your hands. So thinking not an elephant, you're a ninja. Okay, so in this position, nice and light, kicking up, trying to go lightly with the hands, not really heavy as much as you can. So the last thing we're going to take you through is the idea of changing the leg position. So straight leg, I personally think, is the best way to start. Like, copy the gymnasts. When you see a gymnast, particularly in CrossFit, if they've crossed over into CrossFit, beautiful, really beautiful handstands, handstand walking. Now, when you see a CrossFitter doing handstand walking, not always so beautiful. So I'd say we try and copy the gymnast, which is really perfect form, but if you want to try the other version, it's bending at the knees and it will pull you forward. So it often maybe makes you go a bit faster, but I'll talk about the pluses and minuses. So we're going to go straight leg to this line, I'm going to go bent leg, and then I'm going to go straight leg again, and we might see a difference in speed. So kicking up, bent leg, and then straight leg. So as you can see, that straight leg for me pulls me back into more control. The bent leg is like, whoa, and off he goes. Now, if you were doing this with weightlifting, let's say we're doing it in a workout, CrossFit workout, we've got deadlifts, handstand walks. For me, I find it very hard on my back if I do the bent version. Okay, so my core is really working in both those movements really hard to keep the integrity through my spine. So for me, I would say the deadlift, you're going to keep your core nice and strong, and then the handstand walks, you want to go straight versus the bent. Now, it's just as you become comfortable with it and as your core gets more used to that as well. But I would find that would really help, is I'd end up doing maybe some bent leg at the beginning while I'm not so fatigued, and then I'm going to make sure I do that straight leg. Or maybe I do the straight leg all the way through so I keep uncompromised through the core. Thank you for joining us. And Steph is trying to
practice.
Oh yeah, practice. She's mouthing behind her. Okay, so practice. Now, when I learned to do this, it took me a year. Every day I do 10 minutes. So you have to do that. This is a skill. Strength will help, but it is a skill. Okay, so thank you for joining us. If you've got any questions, pop them in beneath, and please like and subscribe.